Hey coin fans and treasure hunters. Welcome to World Rare Coins, the place where history, mystery, and massive value collide in the world of rare US coins. If you think a quarter is just pocket change, think again. Here, we uncover hidden gems, minting mistakes, and mind-blowing stories behind coins that collectors dream about. Ready to discover coins that could change your life? Then stick around, because you're about to enter the thrilling world of rare coins like never before. Let's get started.
Top 1 today, we're diving into one of the most talked about, widely circulated, yet secretly valuable coins in American history, the 1776 to 1976 United States bicentennial Washington quarter. Now, this might just look like an ordinary quarter at first glance. You've probably seen dozens of them, that iconic image of George Washington on the front, and the drummer boy proudly standing on the reverse side. But don't let appearances fool you. Some of these seemingly common coins have a story to tell, and a price tag that will leave you stunned. Before we jump into the juicy details of what makes some of these quarters worth thousands of dollars, let's first take a trip back in time. This special edition quarter was released to commemorate the 200th birthday of the United States, the bicentennial of American independence. Rather than minting coins with the usual date, the U.S. Mint issued quarters stamped with the dual date 1776 to 1976, honoring 2 centuries of freedom. It was a historical moment, and the Mint wanted these coins to be both functional and symbolic. Over 1.6 billion of these quarters were struck between 1975 and 1976, which makes them very common. So you might be asking, if there are billions of them, how could they possibly be worth more than face value? Well, that's where things get exciting. You see, while most of these quarters are indeed common, a small number of them were struck in limited runs with unique features, errors, or made from special materials that make them incredibly rare and highly desirable to collectors today. Let's talk about those features that turn an ordinary bicentennial quarter into an extraordinary collectible. First, the material. Most of the quarters were minted in copper nickel clad, just like your regular modern coins. But a select number, specifically those struck at the San Francisco Mint, were made from 40% silver. These were originally sold as part of special bicentennial coin sets and never intended for regular circulation. If you happen to find one of these silver quarters in uncirculated condition, it can already be worth more than 10 times its face value. But we're just getting started. Next up, mint errors. These are the quirks and mistakes that happen during the coin production process. And when it comes to the bicentennial quarters, there are several types of mint errors that have collectors scrambling to get their hands on them. Some of the most sought-after errors include double die obverse. This is when the coin's image, particularly the lettering or date, appears slightly doubled. It's a clear sign that something went wrong during the minting process, and collectors love it. Off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting, resulting in a design that's shifted noticeably to one side. The more off-center it is, and the more complete the missing image, the more valuable it becomes. Clipped planches. These are coins that were stamped on an incomplete metal blank, often missing a chunk from the side. They are eye-catching and rare, making them top targets for error coin collectors. Wrong metal errors. Occasionally, a quarter was accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a penny or a foreign denomination. These wrong planchet errors are incredibly scarce and extremely valuable. And then there's the condition of the coin. In numismatics, the study and collection of currency, condition is everything. A coin that's been circulated and handled for years might be worth a few cents over face value. But a coin that's uncirculated, especially one graded by a professional service with a near-perfect or perfect score, can fetch serious money. Take, for instance, a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter graded MS 68 or higher. These coins are so pristine, so perfectly preserved, that they're essentially in the same state as the moment they left the mint. Finding one like this is incredibly rare. And because so few exist at that level of perfection, collectors are willing to pay a premium to own one. Now, here's where things get truly jaw-dropping. Among all the bicentennial quarters that have surfaced over the decades, a very small number have sold at auction for absolutely astonishing amounts, and it's not just because of their condition. Some of them had ultra-rare mint errors, or were struck on silver planches when they shouldn't have been. These off-the-books errors are the crown jewels of the Washington quarter world. One such example, a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter with a rare combination of features, including a dramatic mint error and pristine condition, caught the eye of collectors at a prestigious auction. After a heated round of bidding, the final hammer price left everyone stunned. That coin sold for an unbelievable $84,000. Yes, you heard that right, $84,000 for a single quarter. A coin that, at face value, wouldn't even buy you a pack of gum. Just imagine finding that in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar.so. What does this mean for you? It means it's time to check your coin collection. Pull out that old jar of quarters from the back of your drawer. Examine every bicentennial quarter you find. Look for silver edges, doubled letters, off-center designs, or anything that just looks off. And if you think you've got something special, consider having it professionally graded. It could be the best investment you've ever made. Remember, not every 1776 to 1976 quarter is worth a fortune. Most are worth their face value, 25 cents. But a select few, those rare unicorns with perfect condition or minting anomalies, could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. So next time you get a quarter in your change and see that little drummer boy staring back at you, don't just toss it in your pocket. Take a closer look. Because you might just be holding a piece of American history and a hidden fortune.
Top 2, we're diving into the fascinating story of a coin that celebrates music, culture, and history. The United States Louisiana State Quarter from 2002. It's a coin that, in its rarest and most exceptional form, has stunned collectors with jaw-dropping auction results. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this little piece of metal can be worth so much, and I promise you won't want to miss the final reveal. The Louisiana Quarter is part of the wildly popular 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and changed the way Americans looked at their pocket change forever. Each state quarter tells a story about its state's unique history, and Louisiana's design is one of the most eye-catching in the entire series. Released in 2002, it was the 18th coin in the program, following Indiana and preceding Mississippi. Now, let's talk about that design. On the reverse side, you'll see a beautifully detailed outline of the state of Louisiana with a pelican, the state bird, gracefully standing on the left side. The pelican is more than just a pretty bird here. It's a symbol of nurturing and protection, deeply tied to the state's identity. Inside the state outline is a trumpet, paying homage to Louisiana's rich musical heritage, particularly its role as the birthplace of jazz. Flowing out from the trumpet are musical notes, representing the rhythm, soul, and culture that have made Louisiana famous around the world. On the right side, there's a portion of the Louisiana Purchase territory highlighted, a nod to one of the most important land acquisitions in U.S. history. The words Louisiana Purchase sit proudly above, reminding us of the state's pivotal role in America's expansion. On the obverse, as with all state quarters, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington. But while this side may seem ordinary, it's on both sides of the coin that small differences, rare conditions, and minting mistakes can create something extraordinary. Most Louisiana quarters you see in everyday change are worth only 25 cents. Even if they've been lightly circulated, they might only be worth a small premium to a casual collector. But for those who know what to look for, certain rare examples are worth hundreds, thousands, or even far more. The key factors are rarity, condition, and, for the truly valuable pieces, minting errors. One type of valuable Louisiana quarter comes from what collectors call a double die error. This happens when the design is struck more than once in slightly different positions, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on the lettering or images. If you spot doubling on the words Louisiana Purchase or in the musical notes flowing from the trumpet, you may have something far more special than a common coin. Another highly sought-after variation is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being shifted or cut off. The more dramatic the off-center appearance, while still showing the date and key details, the more valuable the coin can be. Then there are clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a mistake in cutting the metal blanks before striking. A Louisiana quarter with a significant clipped section can command impressive prices among error collectors. Even without errors, condition plays a massive role in value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless coin in perfect mint condition. A Louisiana quarter graded mint state 68 or mint state 69 by a professional grading service is a rare find because coins intended for circulation are often banged around, scratched, and worn before anyone thinks to save them. Spotting a flawless Louisiana quarter fresh from the mint, with sharp details and lustrous shine, is like finding a diamond in the rough. Collectors love the Louisiana quarter not just for its beauty, but also for the combination of historical importance and artistry it represents. From the Louisiana Purchase to the soulful sound of jazz, this coin captures a spirit that is uniquely American. And when you mix that with a rare minting error or perfect preservation, you get something truly special. Stories have circulated in the coin collecting community about Louisiana quarters fetching incredible amounts at auction. Sometimes it's an ultra-high grade that sends the price soaring. Other times it's a one-of-a-kind minting mistake that makes collectors' hearts race. Either way, the Louisiana quarter is proof that even the most common-looking coins can hide secrets worth a fortune. And now, the part you've been waiting for. Among the rarest and most pristine examples of the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter, one remarkable specimen, featuring exceptional condition and an extraordinary error, has sold for an astonishing $81,000. So the next time you find a Louisiana quarter in your change, take a moment to study it. Look closely at the details, check for doubling, examine the edges, and if you think you might have a rare treasure, have it graded by a reputable service. You never know, your ordinary-looking quarter could be the one that changes your life. Top 3. We're heading to the rugged and breathtaking landscapes of the American Northwest to talk about the United States Idaho State Quarter from 2007. This coin, in its rarest and most exceptional form, has shocked the coin-collecting world with its staggering auction prices. So grab your magnifying glass and listen carefully, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this little piece of metal could be one of the most valuable quarters you'll ever see. The Idaho State Quarter is part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. Running from 1999 to 2008, the program honored each state with its own unique design, telling a piece of America's story through art in miniature. Idaho's quarter was released in 2007 as the 43rd coin in the series, and like the state itself, it's a striking blend of beauty, wilderness, and history that let's take a closer look at the design. On the reverse side, you're greeted by the regal image of a peregrine falcon in mid-flight, wings spread wide as if soaring over Idaho's towering mountains and endless forests. This bird was chosen for its speed, strength, and survival skills, qualities that perfectly reflect the spirit of Idaho. Alongside the falcon is the state's motto, Esto Perpetua, which means let it be perpetual, a promise to preserve Idaho's natural beauty and way of life for generations to come. On the obverse side, as with all state quarters, you'll find the profile of George Washington, but don't let that familiar face fool you. It's in the small details, condition, and minting quirks that the value of this coin can skyrocket. Now here's the thing. Most Idaho quarters you'll encounter in circulation are worth only face value. Even ones in nice shape may only bring in a modest amount to casual collectors. But in the world of serious numismatics, certain Idaho quarters stand apart because of their rarity, condition, and in some cases, fascinating minting errors. One of the most desirable types of minting errors is the double die error, where parts of the design are struck more than once in slightly different positions. On an Idaho quarter, this doubling might appear in the letters of Esto Perpetua, the year, or even in the detailed feathers of the peregrine falcon. This kind of mistake is rare, and when it's clearly visible, collectors will pay handsomely for it. Another rare and valuable variation is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly aligned in the press, causing the design to be shifted so part of it is missing or oddly placed. The more dramatic the shift, while still keeping the date and main design visible, the more desirable it becomes. Then there are clipped planchets, where a small or large crescent-shaped section of the coin is missing because of an error in cutting the metal blanks. Idaho quarters with significant and genuine clipped planchets can fetch impressive sums, especially if they're in high-grade condition. But minting errors aren't the only factor that makes an Idaho quarter valuable. Condition is king in the coin world. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless piece. For a circulating coin like the Idaho quarter, finding an example graded at mint state 68 or mint state 69 is incredibly difficult. These coins have razor-sharp details, no scratches, and a brilliant luster that makes them stand out from the millions of ordinary examples. Such perfection is so rare that when it appears at auction, bidding wars can erupt between collectors. Collectors are drawn to the Idaho quarter for more than just its beauty or rarity. It represents a connection to a state known for its wild landscapes, majestic wildlife, and proud heritage. And because it was released later in the state quarter program, some minting runs were smaller compared to the earlier years, adding a subtle layer of scarcity. Combine that with a dramatic error or pristine condition, and you've got a coin that can become a star in any collection. Over the years, certain Idaho quarters have achieved legendary status in the numismatic community. Whether it's because of a one-of-a-kind error, an extraordinarily high grade, or a combination of both, these coins have fetched jaw-dropping prices that seem almost unbelievable for something worth only 25 cents in face value. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Among the most extraordinary Idaho state quarters ever discovered, one rare and flawless example has sold for an astounding $78,000. The next time you're sorting through your change, don't ignore those state quarters. Take the time to study every detail, look for doubling, check the strike, and inspect the edges. That Idaho quarter sitting quietly in your pocket could be your ticket to a once-in-a-lifetime find. Top for we're heading to the Great Plains to explore a coin that celebrates American history, perseverance, and the simple dream of building a home. The United States Homestead Quarter from 2015. This little piece of metal might look ordinary at first glance, but under the right conditions, it can be worth more than you ever imagined. In fact, one of these quarters has been known to bring in a price that will leave you speechless. The Homestead Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021, honoring national parks, monuments, and historic sites across the United States. This particular coin commemorates Homestead National Monument of America, located in Nebraska. It's a tribute to the Homestead Act of 1862, a piece of legislation that offered land to settlers willing to work it and build a life there. The design of the quarter captures the spirit of self-reliance and the determination of early homesteaders who faced the challenges of the frontier. Let's take a closer look at the coin's reverse side. The central image shows a simple wooden home, a symbol of security and the goal of every homesteader. Flanking it on either side are two large hands, representing the many people who claimed land and built new lives thanks to the Homestead Act. Flowing water from a pump stands in the foreground, a reminder of the importance of fresh water in sustaining life on the Great Plains. The design is rich in symbolism, blending the story of individual struggle with the larger history of America's westward expansion. The obverse side features the familiar portrait of George Washington, used on All America the Beautiful quarters. But as with all valuable coins, the secret to its worth isn't just in the design. It's in the condition, the minting, and sometimes the mistakes made during production. Now, here's where things get interesting for collectors. The vast majority of Homestead quarters in circulation are worth just 25 cents. Even uncirculated examples without errors might sell for a modest amount above face value. But in the coin collecting world, certain Homestead quarters have become famous for their unusual characteristics and rare minting errors. One of the most talked about error types for this coin is the snow on the roof variety. This is a form of die chip error where extra metal appears above the roof of the house, making it look as though snow has settled on top. While it's not an intentional part of the design, it's a genuine mint error, and collectors love these kinds of anomalies. Another highly sought-after variety is the extra fingers error. This happens when die chips or other issues create the illusion of additional fingers on the hands shown in the design. The more visible and distinct these extra features are, the more desirable the coin becomes. But the errors don't stop there. Some Homestead quarters show doubling in the lettering or details of the water pump, known as a double die error. This doubling can be subtle or dramatic, but in either case, it's a sign of a rare and collectible coin. Condition is another huge factor. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect mint state coin. Finding a homestead quarter in mint state 68 or higher is extremely difficult, especially given that most of these coins were released into circulation where they quickly picked up scratches and marks. A flawless example with razor-sharp details and full luster can attract serious attention at auctions. And for the true rarities, you sometimes get a combination of factors: a pristine, high-grade coin with a dramatic minting error. These are the pieces that make headlines and end up in the collections of serious numismatists. Collectors love the Homestead Quarter not only for its beauty and historical significance, but also because it's one of the few modern coins with such a wide range of recognized errors. This means there are plenty of opportunities for sharp-eyed collectors to find something special, even in pocket change. Many people have stumbled upon these error coins without realizing their value, only to later discover that they were holding a miniature treasure in their hands. Over the years, the Homestead Quarter has developed a strong following among collectors, and auction prices for the most exceptional examples have reached astonishing levels. Some are drawn to its connection with American history, others to the thrill of hunting for its many varieties, and still others to the pure excitement of finding a rare error worth thousands of times its face value. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Among the rarest and most perfect examples of the 2015 Homestead Quarter, featuring both exceptional preservation and an extraordinary error. One coin has sold for an incredible $75,000. So, the next time you come across a Homestead Quarter in your change, don't dismiss it as just another 25-cent piece. Take a moment to study it closely. Look for unusual marks, doubling, extra metal, or any features that seem out of place. And if you think you might have found a rare variety, have it examined by a professional grading service. That little coin could turn out to be worth a life-changing amount of money. Top 5. We're traveling to the heart of the Rocky Mountains to look at a coin that captures the rugged beauty of the American West, the United States Colorado State Quarter from 2006. This coin is not only beautiful but, in rare cases, astonishingly valuable. And by the end of this video, you'll know why collectors are willing to pay so much for certain examples of this piece. The Colorado State Quarter is part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series in U.S. history. Running from 1999 to 2008, the program released a unique quarter for each state, showcasing designs that celebrate their heritage, landmarks, and natural wonders. Colorado's quarter was issued in 2006 as the 38th coin in the series, and it perfectly reflects the state's nickname, the Centennial State. On the reverse side, you'll see a stunning depiction of the Rocky Mountains, complete with rugged peaks and dense pine forests. At the bottom is a flowing banner that reads, "Colorful Colorado," the state's famous welcome sign greeting travelers as they cross its borders. The image captures the state's natural grandeur, from towering mountains to rich, wild landscapes. On the obverse side, as with all state quarters, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington. But while the design is beautiful, the real treasure lies in certain rare examples that carry hidden qualities, making them worth thousands of times their face value. Now, let's talk about why some Colorado quarters are worth far more than 25 cents. The first factor is rarity and high grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless example in perfect mint state. For coins that were made for circulation, like most Colorado quarters, it's extremely difficult to find examples without scratches, wear, or bag marks from the minting and distribution process. A Colorado quarter graded at mint state 68 or mint state 69 is an incredibly rare find and can command serious attention from collectors. But condition isn't the only thing that can make a Colorado quarter valuable. Minting errors are another major factor. One of the most famous types of errors is the double die error, where parts of the design are struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect in the lettering or images. On a Colorado quarter, doubling might appear in the mountain outlines, the words "Colorful Colorado," or even in the fine details of the trees. Clear doubling is rare, and when combined with a high grade, it's the kind of find that collectors dream of. Another rare minting error to look for is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is noticeably shifted to one side. The more dramatic the shift, while still showing the date and key details, the more valuable the coin becomes. Off-center strikes are a fascinating glimpse into the minting process, and for state quarters, they can be especially sought after. Then there's the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a mistake when cutting the metal blanks before striking. A clipped planchet Colorado quarter in pristine condition is both an oddity and a rarity, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for one. Some Colorado quarters were also struck on the wrong metal planchets, meaning they were accidentally made on a blank intended for another denomination. These wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and almost always valuable because they're the result of highly unusual mistakes at the mint. Collectors love the Colorado quarter because it's not only part of a beloved series, but also represents one of America's most scenic and adventurous states. Whether you're a collector drawn to the natural beauty of the Rockies or someone fascinated by minting anomalies, this coin offers something for everyone. Over the years, certain examples of the Colorado quarter have made headlines in the coin collecting world, selling for prices that are hard to believe for a coin that originally cost just 25 cents. These standout coins usually have a perfect or near-perfect grade, an unusual and dramatic error, or, in rare cases, both. And now, the part you've been waiting for. Among the rarest and most extraordinary examples of the 2006 Colorado State quarter, one flawless specimen with a remarkable minting error sold for an incredible $75,000. The next time you get change at the store, take a moment to look at your quarters. That ordinary-looking Colorado coin in your hand might just be hiding a story and a value far greater than you'd ever expect. Examine the details, check for errors, and if you think you've found something special, consider having it graded by a professional. That little piece of metal could turn into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. If you enjoyed learning about the hidden secrets of the Colorado quarter, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin story. Who knows? Your next big find could be hiding in your pocket right now.